She said, "You don't need to know what happens on a girl's trip. That's why you're blocked until I'm home." I didn't react, but when Juliet returned, expecting me to be waiting at the airport, she was about to find out who was really there for her. My profession as a private investigator has taught me to see the world not as a simple story, but as a complex manuscript with layers of truth and deception hidden between the lines. It's a job that forces you to read people not by what they say, but by the spaces in between, by the lies they meticulously construct to hide the truth. Juliet, my girlfriend of 3 years, always claimed my work had made me too cynical. The bitter reality is, it hadn't made me cynical enough. Our relationship was, I believed, my one sanctuary from the world of shadows and secrets I inhabited. It was the only place I didn't feel compelled to search for the angle, the lie, the hidden motive. We were partners, building a life together, in a house I had bought with a decade of long nights and perilous assignments. We had shared goals, a shared future. I had given her my absolute trust, the highest currency in my line of work, and I had given her all of it. The trouble began, as it often does, with a seemingly harmless detail: a 5-day girls' trip to Las Vegas with her 3 closest friends. There was Lauren, the ringleader, perpetually on the hunt for trouble; Becca, the quiet but eager follower who mirrored Lauren's every move; and Chloe, whose silence was unnerving, a constant, watchful calculation. I never liked them. They were a trio of superficiality, treating Juliet like a prize, forever reminding her of the wild days she had before she met a stable, predictable guy like me. A few days before the trip, while helping Juliet pack, I asked for her flight and hotel details. A simple request, a contingency in case of an emergency. She stopped, her eyes taking on a strange, hard glint I had never seen before. "You don't need to know that," she stated, her voice sharp and final. Taken aback, I asked what she meant. "I just want to know where you are." Crossing her arms, her voice hardened into a cold condescension. "It's a girls' trip, Milo. The entire point is to get away from everything, including you. You don't need to know what happens on a girls' trip. That's why you're blocked until I'm home." I just stared at her, the word blocked echoing in the silence. It wasn't a request for privacy, it was a declaration of a 5-day blackout, a line drawn between her life and our life. My mind, trained to see every angle, immediately shifted into professional mode. The betrayed boyfriend was gone, the investigator had just clocked in. I did not yell, I did not argue. In my world, when someone shows you a wall, you don't try to break through it. You find a way around it. "Okay," I said, my voice eerily calm. "I understand. Have a great time." Her confident, defiant expression flickered, replaced by a momentary confusion. She had wanted a fight, a justification for her secrecy. My easy agreement left her with nothing to push against. The next morning, I drove her to the airport. She was cheerful and excited, already in vacation mode. As she got out of the car, she leaned in for a kiss. "Don't miss me too much," she said, with a playful wink. "I'll call you when I land to let you know I'm unblocking you." "No, you won't," I replied. She laughed, thinking it was a joke. I watched her disappear into the terminal, her suitcase rolling behind her. Then I drove away. I did not go home. I went to my office. The investigation had already begun. She thought she was entering a 5-day blackout. She had no idea I was about to flood her world with light. She was expecting me to be waiting at the airport when she got back. And in a way, she was right. I wouldn't be there, but she was about to discover exactly who was. I started by tracing the license plate of the high-end SUV that picked up her friends. It belonged to a wealthy, married investment firm partner named Adam Cole. Further digging into flight manifests showed Juliet and her friends weren't on commercial flights, as she claimed. Instead, they had flown on a private jet owned by Adam Cole's firm to Las Vegas. The blocking was no longer a mystery. It was confirmation of a lie. Juliet's friends, however, were less careful. Their social media posts were a goldmine of evidence, filled with amateur mistakes. I saw a man's reflection in a selfie and another intimate encounter captured in a video. The final damning clue was a photo of them at a fancy dinner. The background painting led me to a high roller suite at the Bellagio, reserved for the casino's biggest clients, Adam Cole. This wasn't a girls' trip. It was a paid party, with Juliet as a high-priced accessory. The most painful discovery came from a video where I heard Juliet's voice talking to a man. Voice analysis identified him as her ex-fiancé, David, the man she claimed had broken her heart. He was one of Adam Cole's clients. The entire trip was a carefully constructed lie to be with another man, funded by a different one. My course of action was clear. There would be no conversation, only consequences. I compiled evidence against Adam Cole and sent it to his wife's divorce attorney. I also tipped off an investigative journalist about David's shady business dealings. Finally, I prepared for Juliet's return. She was expecting a quiet reunion, but I had other plans. I found David's live-in girlfriend, Sarah, who had no idea about his trip. I told her everything and provided the evidence. I proposed that instead of me, it should be she who meets Juliet at the airport. Sarah, consumed by a cold anger that matched my own, agreed. The stage was set. Juliet was expecting a welcome home party, but she was about to walk into a funeral, her own. The airport wasn't a confrontation, it was a detonation. I wasn't there. I watched it unfold on a live feed from a private contractor. I saw Juliet, laughing and tanned, enter the arrivals hall. She saw Sarah, David's girlfriend, holding a large poster with a high-resolution photo of Juliet and David together at a Las Vegas blackjack table. Juliet's smile froze. Her friend's laughter died. A hush fell over the busy hall as people stared. Sarah, calm and steady, announced that David was busy explaining the picture to her. At that moment, a process server I had hired handed Juliet an envelope containing an eviction notice for my house and a restraining order. The combined shock was too much. She crumbled, dropping her bags and sobbing. Her friends scattered, abandoning her like rats from a sinking ship. The fallout was swift and comprehensive. Adam Cole's wife filed for divorce, taking him for everything she was legally entitled to. David is now facing multiple lawsuits and potential criminal charges. Juliet's life became a smoking crater. Her friends abandoned her, and she had to move back in with her parents. I systematically erased her from my life, becoming a ghost to her and her world. 6 months later, the dust has settled. The victory, initially satisfying, felt hollow. However, the experience led me to a new beginning with Sarah. We are now dating, building a slow, careful relationship based on absolute honesty. Our shared betrayal became the foundation for something real. Juliet, I learned, is starting over alone. She sent me a final handwritten apology, accepting full responsibility for her actions. She did not ask for forgiveness, but expressed true sorrow and a desire to become a better person. I believe her apology was genuine, but I also know some things once broken can't be put back together again. My revenge forced a group of people to face an undeniable truth. They took off their masks on a public stage, and what was left was not pretty. I don't think about them anymore. My life is full. I have a partner I trust and a sense of peace I haven't felt in years. Juliet thought she could block me out for 5 days. She didn't realize she was giving me the space to build a new firewall, one that would protect my life from her kind of chaos.